Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. And now let's get right into it, guys. So, what happened today in the market? Well, the Nasdaq took a nosedive once again, and you can see VIX is up massively. Tesla says shareholders approved Musk 1 trillion pay plan with over 75% voting in favor. SNAP benefits must be fully paid by Trump administration by Friday. Judge orders. So nothing really new happening, and the government shutdown is still continuing. Where I think we'll have a deal very soon, and government will be open. Now, with that being said, guys, I want to show you guys a couple things here that a couple days ago. As a matter of fact, a couple of videos came out, but you can see this one here short now, and the market was going to all-time highs. The next day I posted this video, market went up by another $4, and there it is. I mean, it's never gonna come back, and that's all we heard. Fast forward to what happened. Nvidia puts in play 200 and then added more to it, heavy puts on this play right here. And fast forward today, we saw what Nvidia did and how much we got rewarded on that play. Triple Q also getting absolutely destroyed. 620 puts going deep over the money. So fantastic play. And if you guys are really serious about trading, guys, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon and people that are on there and people that are serious and trading, making money all the time. Now, if you're also on X, you can give me a follow right here. There is no charge, nothing. I do post a lot of things here on X, and it's totally free. So, market Dow is going down 0.84%, Nasdaq down 1.90%, almost 2%, S&P down 1.12%, Russell going down 1.77%. 11 sectors except energy and healthcare, you can see all in red. Consumer cyclical took a big hit. Amazon, Tesla, all down. Technology down. Industrials, communication services, consumer defensive, all taking a massive hit. Stock market map. What do we have here? You can see big name Microsoft again gave back all those gains from earnings, down another 2%. Nvidia took a big hit today, big chunk out of Nvidia, almost 4% down on the day. We got Meta going down again, 2.67%. Tesla, what happened to those 500 calls buyer? They're still, sitting at 500, down 3.5%. Amazon down nearly 3%. Somehow, Apple surviving today, going flat. Oracle down 2.60%, and PLTR, retail favorite stock, going down nearly 7% on the day. AMD took a big hit today, down over 7%. QCOM, you can see Intel, I mean, you name it, and it's all down. Healthcare did pretty well today. And then you can see consumer defensive also not quite going down that much to the downside. And even energy, you can see some of these energy names are lighting up in the green. And now let's talk about Apple, since that's the one that is actually holding up this entire market right now. So we have to talk about Triple Q just a little bit before we get to Apple, and I apologize for that because a couple days ago when I made that video, guys, it was right up here, and the next day went up a little bit higher, came back down, puts were already green, then went back up, and people just started talking about how breakaway gap, runaway gap, and all that. It's all bullish, never gonna come back. They don't see market coming back and filling these gaps. What happened? What happened? It came back, filling those gaps just one day. That 618 and the 612, 611 gap fully closed, and now it's finding support here. So when you're wrong, you're wrong. You need to read the market better. And when market hitting all-time highs 4 days in a row, gapping up and going higher, and still bullish, definitely you're going to lose money if you're chasing that move to the upside. And that's why I wanted to bring it up and show you guys that one day it all just took one day to close all those gaps. Now what is Apple doing? Well, not much. Usually Apple gives up some of those gains. 264 gap will likely to get filled at some point, but today Apple was pushing back up again. You can see got the inverted hammer here, and then came back, and now it's barely holding at 270 right here, the 5-day moving average. Soon as this thing comes back and breaks below 265, the next gap fill would be at 264, and then will come down at 261 to 259. To the upside, there will be still resistance at 272 right here, and over that we might see a push back up to the upside. On Apple stock, it's absolutely flat on the day. So Apple again was trying to move back up, but the market did not allow it to move higher. And you can see just actually getting, pretty much nothing here on Apple stock, pretty much staying flat for the day. It went higher, but it did not hold up any gains. Now it's holding here at 275 day moving average, barely holding on to it. If that gives up, it'll come down and close this gap at 264 and possibly come down will retest 261 to 259, this 20-day moving average and this previous high right here on Apple. Usually Apple after earnings, there will be some sort of a dump off at some point. Now if this thing actually wants to move higher, it might go up to 280. And why? Because it's been holding up here even though the market is going down, big names like Microsoft going down, Nvidia going down, and Apple looks, pretty solid holding up here. So if this thing holds over 265, or at least right now at 270, then it can possibly move back up to, I would say, this high right here, 273, and over that you'll see a push up to 277 to upper Bollinger Band, which is extended up to 280. That's where it's heading if this thing can hold up here. But usually, I would say there is downside, more downside on Apple than upside. So it's really tricky to trade this name right now. And I think, even if it goes up to 280 or even a little bit higher or somewhere here, buy some more time, it will come back and close these two gaps within maybe next couple of weeks right here on Apple. On Microsoft, it's down 2%. And what is happening? Well, this is a clear double top. I talked about it before in my video, and now we're actually breaking the neckline here. Now, is there possibility of a bounce back up to the upside? Not quite going back up to all-time highs. Definitely possible. Big name like Microsoft hitting a lower Bollinger Band, pretty oversold condition right here. So we might see a retracement back up to. We got that retracement today. It actually went back up to 500, got that rejection there, and then came back down. So from today's gap down, we have a gap near 507 almost. So this thing can go back up and possibly close the gap, but it needs to get over 500 to, for that to happen here on Microsoft. Now, if this thing continues down, you can see there's not much to it, guys. I mean, the next big level to watch would be 492-ish. And if that's out, we will be landing in no man's land. That means we have this, big area right here. There's not much trading, and it can rapidly come down even more. So watch out, Microsoft not looking good, and that's the one reason that people right now, especially on YouTube, and it might just go the other way. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, like shorting the market on top, but people on YouTube and on X right now, they did it actually day before yesterday, same thing. They were extremely bearish and talking about 2008 crash and all that crap. The market gapped up and went a higher 1%. Yesterday, end of the day, it gave back some of those gains on comments from Nvidia CEO Jensen. And even this morning, market was not down until those puts started to come in, and then we saw the market going lower and filling those gaps. So when people are extremely bearish, there's a lot of fear out there. Market will likely to do the opposite, and there is a gap on top. So keep an eye on that. On AMD, it's down 7%, and you can see we did crack through that support, the key support 242, and now it's finding support at 235. If that gives up, the next one at 226. And with this massive bearish engulfer right here, AMD can possibly go down. You can see this trend line is breaking right now, and if that's the case, it's going to stay down. It can go down further more, and you can see there is a massive gap down here on AMD. To the upside, then it will be resistant at 242. If we can get over that, watch out for a retest of this trend line at 250 and then 252, the 5-day negative sloping 5-day on your daily chart. So Meta, we had that bounce yesterday, but you can see a huge rejection from 638. And then even today we came close to it. We got a rejection because of this 5-day, and things are continuing to go down here on Meta. And there is a gap below right here at 606.97. So if this thing does not hold at 618, you can see right, actually not 618, 614, 615, 614.94. If that gives up, the next level to watch is gonna be this gap fill reversal right here around 607. And you can see there were a lot of candles right here in rejection, so that can hold, can act as a support. And we just got a dead cat bounce yesterday. Even yesterday, it did not really hold up well. Things are really oversold on Meta. So if there is any news, anything comes out, who knows? They might throw out a AI news on Meta, and this thing can jump back up. But I'm expecting a bounce at some point, like I said before, whether it comes down here to close the gap or possibly from here. We had that initial bounce yesterday, but it did not really continue that far. And the market went down today. So the Meta again giving back all those gains and closing pretty much near the low of the day here at 618. Now, what's interesting that market going down, everything going down, but Netflix pretty much holding up here. Multiple days just in that range at around 1100, not even going down to 1065, and keeps getting rejection here at 1100 because of this 5-day moving average. You can see it's pretty much sitting at 1100, just over that. If you can get over 1100, it can possibly push back up to that previous high right here, 1000. 135, and over that we might see more upside. But again, I mean, this is the key pivot zone right here. You need to watch 1065 on a pullback, and if that's out, I mean, that's a long way down. And lower Bollinger Band pointing down, that means one thing: if this thing does not recover from here, it can possibly go down even more from where it's trading, which is close to 1100 right now. On Tesla stock is down 3.5%, and now it's going down a little bit more even after the vote. Now, Tesla here, yes, they were buying calls 500 crazy, but maybe they didn't want to pay them, right? Who knows which way Elon is playing this. And you can see, I mean, it got over the upper Bollinger Band, and it works pretty much hand in hand all the time. It came back in, massive bearish engulfing candle today, down. It was down actually more. 435 came. You can see, I mean, almost touching 432. So uh, it actually lost all the gains, momentum, and now it's trading close to this 444 zone, which is the 20-day. If that gives up tomorrow, 432 and then 417, and it can possibly go down here, guys. I mean, that's why you're seeing last couple of videos I made that I'm not really, I'm just doing the analysis here on Tesla, telling you guys that what they're buying, but I'm not really interested shorting, or even I'm more comfortable shorting Nvidia than Tesla, because this thing is unpredictable. It could be here, the next thing you know it's right here, or it's right up here. So Tesla is a different animal, and I just don't like shorting or even going long here over 400. If it's at 200 or maybe 250, 230, 170, 180, you would hear me talking about Tesla just buying those dips all the time, but not interested in shorting or even buying any dips on Tesla anytime soon. So Tesla, watch those levels to the upside, 455, 464, and if that breaks and holds, maybe we see that 500 call buyers getting paid at that point. On Google, stock is up 0.21%. It was up to almost 289, but gave back. We got a doji type of candle today. Now, what's going on here? Google, is it going to make it? Well, one thing I want to point out, guys, Google is another one that I think it's going to give up some of those gains. It might go to 290, 294. Maybe it'll make another brand new all-time high. But regardless of where it goes within next couple of sessions, or maybe even a week or two, I see Google coming down, and who knows, maybe even tomorrow, 276 to close this gap. We were really close today, 281, and then it bounced back up because of the strong earnings. It's still actually pushing higher, but things are overbought, and just like you saw, I'll talk about it in a minute, Amazon, this thing will likely to come down and close some of these gaps to the downside. To the upside, the only thing I see here, 286 needs to break and hold. Then you might see 292 or even higher, 295, then 300. Otherwise, if this thing breaks below 282, then it's coming down here to 280, 276 to fill this gap, and maybe we'll head down even lower to close this gap at 262.51. So I think I talked about it. Amazon is down 2.86%, and I was talking about it in my video just about a day ago here that Amazon, I believe 242 will come. And what happened today? Well, it landed right at 242 and pretty much holding right there. Now we have a massive gap below. All the gains are gone. 258, all that massive pump, everything is faded here. And that 242 gives up immediately will land at 238 and then 236. And then this, I mean, we will at that point we'll be closing some of this massive gap to the downside. So Amazon, yes, it's coming off a brand new fresh all-time highs, but is it actually looking all too good? Absolutely not. These stocks are target, especially for people like me, people that are looking into shorting the market when it's at all-time highs. These are not buying zone. You don't go and buy and chase a stock like Google and Amazon at 250 plus after gapping up, 15, 20%. I mean, that's like, you know, uh, I don't know. I don't even know what type of trades are those chasing after gapping up 15, 20% and still buying calls. I guess these people have a lot of money. Now, to the downside, Amazon is one of the plays that I took, especially puts. I did not even share. I just shared that play live in my Patreon, and this was one of the play today that paid a 245 puts when deep in the money and collected profit, guys, and that was fantastic. So 242 has to hold. And now there will be resistance at right here 246, 248. Over that, we can talk about possibly going back up and retesting 250 and even going higher. 242 gives up. It will come down here, and this pivot right here, you can see 238, 236, and below that, there will be more downside. On Nvidia, stock is down 3.65%. So Jensen, again, I talked about it before in my video about Nvidia that he sells into these big pump to the upside, and look at the way selling the crap out of it. Look at the volume here, guys. Lots of selling. And today what happened? Well, I do not care what Jensen is doing, but Nvidia paid a lot of people that actually held puts, including myself and my paid Patreon members. So, if you made money, kudos to you because this was a fantastic play. I mean, you can see from 212 down to 186. That's a pretty big move, a pretty good chunk we got to the downside buying those puts. And there might be a little bit more, uh, you know, uh, icing on the cake because of this gap down here at 183. So Nvidia now 190 breaks and holds, we might see a push up to 195. If it does not get over 190, then watch out for this gap down here 183. There is support around 183 to 184. Previous all-time highs now can act as a support on Nvidia.